Over 110 million animals die in U.S. laboratories used for animal testing every year. Now imagine that instead of 110 million animals, it's 110 million humans. The sole purpose of you coming into this world is to be tested on and probed in order to produce the perfect product. Imagine your only reason to live is to be used for a medical discovery. Just like humans are living organisms, animals are too, and deserve the right to live without being used as a medical device. Is it really worth it to cause distress, kill, or cause lasting damage to animals just for you to look good for a day in your makeup? Countless animals are being exploited for research on drugs or prescriptions, as well as cosmetics and household items every day. Meanwhile, being put in danger and experiencing pain. Do you know how many products we use on a daily basis that animals were tested on and suffered? I'm sure when you pick up an item, such as your makeup or household cleaner, or even your daily prescriptions, you're not wondering, were animals tested for this? But maybe you should. Many gruesome outcomes come from animal testing, and millions of animals are harmed each year for the sole purpose of testing products and drugs for our benefit. As we benefit, our furry friends suffer. Do you really want this?
Animals are tested on for research and to test the safety of products. NARS is an example of cosmetic testing on animals. They have received backlash resulting in the boycott of NARS. NARS has stated that they started testing on animals due to the requirements in China for cosmetics to undergo animal testing to begin selling their products in China to consumers. It was a decision of being true to their principles or abandoning them to start selling in China. For NARS's case, it was to start selling in China. Stated in NARS and the official FAQ, NARS does not test on animals, nor do we ask others to test on our behalf except where required by law. This contradicts the principles of NARS, as they claim not to do any testing on animals and being cruelty-free, but still test on animals where it's required by law. Like in China, there are also alternatives to animal testing, such as using artificial skin models and computer-based testing, which make it unnecessary for animals to be subjected to painful experiments. Does NARS really care about the ethics of no animal testing, or do they only care about the profit they get from their makeup products?
Some think that animal testing is beneficial, and while it does provide some information and data for a product, it has negative effects. Whether to test the safety or just to add to research in the medical field, the harm to animals is severe. Animal testing has contributed greatly to some medical research. Some research animal testing has contributed to is experiments in new drugs, effectiveness, and safety, such as research in vaccines for COVID-19 in recent years. They also help contribute by helping test undesired effects that a drug or medical treatment could have. Without those essential animals, certain discoveries and diseases may have not been made. As a scientist, these animals are crucial to new discoveries in drugs and medical treatments. While some preventions have been made in the medical field to find an alternative substance to test, the legal liability still states that animals need to be tested on first before prescribing a drug or creating a beauty product or household cleaner. While this is headway, this action is not enough. Countless animals go through testing and experience suffering beyond measure just for our gain.
As someone who has always cared deeply about the well-being of animals, I was deeply moved by the testimony of a scientist who witnessed the reality of animal testing firsthand. In their words, "I've always been interested in animals, and I've dedicated my career to helping them, but nothing prepared me for the horrors I've seen inside animal laboratories. I've seen mice torn apart by cage mates who had been driven insane and made aggressive by the stress of confinement. I visited laboratories where dogs are experimented on, and I'll never forget the anguished cries of beagles there, who were vying for attention, longing for someone to play with. I've observed primates imprisoned in cramped, almost barren cages, which have no ropes for them to swing on, who are given no opportunity to socialize. They're so desperate for affection that they reach out to passing visitors, hoping for someone, anyone, to stop and notice them." Hearing this from someone with years of professional experience gives powerful credibility to the ethical argument against animal testing. This scientist's account of mice attacking each other from stress, dogs crying out for attention, and primates reaching for anyone who might notice them exposes the cruelty hidden behind the research. When someone devoted to animal care is horrified by what they've seen, it becomes clear these experiments are not just inhumane, but morally wrong.
It hits. But at the end of the day, I mean, it's okay. We do it for the humans, right? They're far superior to us animals. They've even been to space. Have you ever seen a rabbit in a rocket ship? I don't think so. Point is, I'm not a space bunny. I'm a tester. My daddy was a tester, my mum, my brothers, my sisters, my kids, all testers, and they all died doing their job. Like I will. That's okay.
A short film called Save Ralph by Humane World for Animals is about a rabbit that endures painful daily testing for the safety of consumer makeup products. Ralph is shown to be blind in his right eye, have constant ringing in his right ear, and have chemical burns up and down his back. He states that the point of his job is to help people have an illusion of owning safer lipsticks and deodorants, and that his father, mother, and kids all died from testing, which will soon happen to him. Although it is an animated film, it depicts what happens in the testing labs and what animals have to endure when injected with chemical substances in their bodies. As a result of the short film, Save Ralph has left a global impact on the world, as Mexico, Brazil, Canada, and Chile have banned cosmetic animal testing and is currently helping advance legislation in several countries that make up the world's most influential beauty markets.
In the end, animal testing forces us to confront the truth. Our need to test animals comes at the expense of their innocent lives. We justify the suffering of millions of animals by the quality of our products. The question we must ask ourselves is, do animals really need us, or do we need animals?